flow, increase our happiness, express our emotions, increase our health, stimulate our immune system, stimulate thoughts, help us figure out this complex life we're in. And speaking of which, my heart goes out to everybody, whether you voted for the person that didn't win or the person that did, or whether you're one of the millions of people eligible to vote who didn't vote at all, discouraged, perhaps mistrusting of the whole system. We are all in this together. And it's our planet. We don't own it. We get to live on it. As long as we can figure out how to get along with each other and live in balance with nature, we get to pass it on to our ancestors. But if we don't figure that out, nature will continue, but we may extinct ourselves, and may we stop extincting the other species that we're taking along with us in our unconsciousness, our avarice, appetite for stuff, and let us live in harmony with nature and one another and pass it on to our ancestors. There are a lot of things that are wonderful about people, and art is an expression of those things, and it is my life because it's what gives me happiness. It's what's helped me heal from tremendous adversity, and it's why I wrote my book. Many people ask me to, saying my stories help them, and it's what we're going to share some of the process of trying to give that to the world in a way they can receive it and be helped by it. So Bodhi has been working on the second edition of my book, slight changes on the cover, and we're going to share that process that is now complete, and he's going to work on what's called a web banner that the woman I'm working with to help promote the book, first time I've had that kind of help in my artistic career, promotional marketing help, has advised, asked for me to make her a web banner. So Bodhi's going to show you how that happens today on this live stream. So without getting too deep into the election, I want to say that right after it happened, I did predict, just by paying attention, how many people are concerned about the economy and how the economy is the strongest indicator of who is going to be elected. I did predict that T was going to be elected, and I was disappointed because I don't think he's a kind, respectful, or even qualified person. But the numbers, though he won by less than 2% of the voters, and she only had 100 days to present herself and what she stood for to the people. She represented the administration that's being blamed for the effects COVID's had on the economy. And we are a sexist world and a very sexist nation, unfortunately. So for all those reasons, coupled with the billionaire buddies, and one of which who put in $100 million to promote the man who prevailed, and I do believe that they're both lacking in empathy, and I don't think it's good for the world. It could be a real advantage for making money and increasing one's power if they don't really care about anyone but themselves. And I do believe that they have a lack of self-esteem that comes from maybe, their upbringing, not being told they were lovable. Maybe it comes from lacking empathy, so they don't really help other people personally, and so they don't really feel good about themselves. So what makes them feel like they have worth is accruing power and prosperity, and they're willing to say or do whatever does that. But money is not more important than meaning. And it is not going to lead us to living in harmony with nature, which we need to do to survive on this planet. And I do not think we're going to, be able to build space stations and just trash this planet, move out there in time. So I think it's necessary for us to live in harmony with nature. And the more peace we have, the more we live in harmony with each other, the better. So when I put up right after the election, the morning of the results had come in that night, that we are all in this together and that we can respectfully disagree. I got a lot of appreciation for saying that, but I also got a lot of people that jumped on me, assuming that because I wasn't full of hate and anger, that I must have voted for T, whose name I don't say ever since the first time he ran, because I think he thrives on attention and I don't want to give disrespectful people any attention. So no, all those people that assumed that if I was not outraged, I must have voted for the person who won. But I don't want to give abusive, disrespectful people any of my loving energy. So I choose not to be hateful. I choose not to be angry, though I do feel righteous indignation. And I'm very saddened at how many, especially females, who ganged up on me without knowing who I am, what I stand for, and said very cruel and disrespectful, laughing at me faces, because I'm not angry like them. We all want to be right. We all want to be heard. And we all want other people to validate who we are. And so angry people want other people to be angry. Hate-filled people want other people to feel hate. And I refused to go there and give them that. So they ganged up on me and said some really cruel things that were uninformed and unkind. And I get away from those kind of people so that I am not open to having them in my life. And that's, well, frankly, I have a lot of kind people in my life, so I feel compassion for them, because I'm not open to being verbally abused. So how can women rise up if what they do is take their hurt about the sexist world out on each other? Well, we can't. So I've never participated in gossip ever since I was very young. I figured this out. That's not a way to bond. And ganging up on other women is not a way to rise up. So I feel sad about that, mostly for them, but as an indication that we need to stick together. We need to be on each other's side and on the side of this beautiful planet and peace. So that's what I want to say about all that. And, I wrote my book because people asked me to. And as the judge said, how come she's not on death row? Her story's like the women on death row. I offered a free audio version to these women that were misunderstanding me so they could know who I was. And they criticized me for promoting my book, but I offered them the free audio version. So anyway, as Buddha said, I can't help you because you're confused. And so I've had to learn the hard way that we can't help everybody. And the woman who said, I have a Jesus complex, no, Jesus would turn the other cheek, I turn and walk away. So I did that, and I'm more sad for them than I am for myself, because I'm a good friend and I'm a good person, and I get to know that about myself, and I get to say that, which one of them said, you're not supposed to say you're kind, other people are supposed to say that. Well, we get to know who we are, and we get to be proud of it. Even if we're women, we get to be confident. So there you go. I've said what I needed to say to clear my heart. And now let's get to the, well, fun part of looking at this process of changing the book cover slightly for this second edition. But before we do that, let me show some art. Here's a stencil. On this, I like to wear a stencil, some stenciled art to wear clothes every live stream to show what we can do. Here's the scarf with the warblers and wildflowers. I'm going to get closer to the camera with it.
I'm going to adjust the exposure a little bit.
Okay.
Cool. Nice.
All righty. Let's do it this way. Is that working?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the flower on the outfit. So these are my fine, fast, and frugal fashion, fabulous fashion, is about taking used or recreating from old clothes, gifts, hand-me-downs, and making them into art to wear. So I like to wear one of them every live stream. So there you go. So, all right. Now we will let Bodhi go back into the editing office and show you the book cover. We are going to get back to, I'm going to get back to creating in front of the camera, hopefully Thursday, and we get to send this second edition that Ingram Spark just sent us back today, to the marketing person this afternoon, so I can get into the next phase. And I think what I'm going to do on Thursday is this landscape. I'm going to add this stencil branch to in front of you. So we'll see. I give myself permission to do, well, what I want to do on these live streams, because art has always been my sanctuary. Nature and art, creative expression have been what's helped me return to positivity. And so that's what I want to share with you. So I give myself permission to do what inspires me. So that'll happen maybe Thursday. There's also the 7 scroll painting stairs series that's like a movable mural that I'm going to be doing in front of the camera soon. There's also finishing Essence of Everything multimedia performance piece. inspired by the Four Seasons, that has word, visual art, movement, and audio art. So lots going on, and we're going to keep it going. So here we have, go ahead and tell us what's happening with the book.
Sure. So this is a digital proof that Ingram Spark sends. Ingram Spark is a printing service. So we put the link right there, or the word. So read Clare's memoir, Incandescence Rising Above Darkness. That's one way you can find it, incandescencebook.com. So we just made some edits to the book, the cover and the interior. And it's a very interesting process with these printing companies. And it's been a large learning curve. But it's really good to know this stuff. So the biggest changes that we made is we changed the cover, the front cover, the spine, and the back cover. We made a lot of changes. The biggest one is that we brought the words memoir and art from down here by Clare COOLEY up to right under Rising Above Darkness. And then based on the way the cover looked with the most recent printing, I made some adjustments to the sizing of the title and the alignment. And we added the words memoir and art to the spine. And then on the top of the quotes here on the back cover, we added Serena Catania's quote, "An instant classic." So there's that.
Serena Catania, co-founder of Sundance
Film Festival. Yeah, so you gotta rep those luminary quotes. Those are, it's a wonderful tribute from her. And so I take the process very methodically, making changes, especially to I take any changes equally methodically. But the cover has a lot of variables that you got to get right. So that took a while to make those seemingly simple changes. But then they send you a proof, and then you got to go through and read all of it. So then we made some interior changes. The subtitle is now Rising Above Darkness, Memoir and Art, which makes it easier for people at a glance when they're looking at the retail page for the book to understand what it is. It's a memoir and an art book in one. And we're now celebrating the second edition. And as of now, as of pretty soon, the only version that's going to be available is the full color, removing any complexity and confusion about the black and white version. And I think that's a great thing. And so any questions, Mom? Anything you want me to show?
Well, the ebook will also still be available. Second edition is
the ebook
as well as color version, and
the ebook has always been color as well, which is a fortunate thing about ebooks.
Right, and the audio version is only available through my live streams where we shared me reading my book. But we will probably be releasing the audio version as a whole book for sale in the beginning of the year.
Let me show that particular, how they get to that, just for anybody who wants to. So you go to YouTube and you type in The Creativity Show, or you go to youtube.com/@the_creativity_show. Find this one, and then you go to live. Rather, you go to playlists. playlists. And playlist number 2 is the audiobook, Clare's memoir, Incandescence Rising Above Darkness. And when you click that, it will automatically start with the first live stream. It'll go in order. And there are 20 live streams to listen to, and you'll be able to hear the entire book if you watch them in the order that the playlist has them.
Cool. And that was important to me to put out there so that there is a free version, because I've had times in my life where I literally had no money. I've been homeless. I've lived in an abandoned building. I've lived in a tent. I've lived out of my little tiny Renault Dauphine. I've lived in a teepee. I've had, starting at 14 years old, $12 a week to budget for the 5 of us, 4 kids and my mother after my father left. So I know what it's like to have nothing extra. So it was very important to me to be able to put the audio version, one of the versions of my book, out for no cost whatsoever. And so there you go. I did it to help people. Of course, I want it to be appreciated. We all want to be appreciated. And of course, I'd like it to not only help a lot of people, but help me by bringing in some income. Of course, I would like that. But first for me is meaning in life, not money. And I'm happy that I've never veered from my North Star being kindness. And cruelty is not cool. I don't care how popular it is. It's not cool. Kindness is cool. So yeah, there we go. So do you want to show the web banner process? So maybe we love to share not only the creativity we've done or are doing, but how we're doing it, so that each of us hopefully will share what only we can, which is our experience, our knowledge, our wisdom, our perspective. So we hope to encourage you to not only enjoy your own creativity and use it to express yourself and heal yourself by stimulating your immune system and stimulating thoughts as feelings do, but also to help the world. The more of us who speak up, who stand up and share our perspective, the more comprehensive the view humanity can have on itself, the more we can reflect on ourselves. And I am very much a champion of, ever since the Industrial Revolution, when a few people started owning most of the money-making businesses and the heavy-duty polluting of the atmosphere, which we're now all seeing the effects of, started to really increase. So, people say they're Christian. There's a lot of Christians, but didn't Jesus throw the money changers out of the temple? So why are so many following money as if it's the God? It's a false God, and I have no idea, nobody really does, whether there is a God or goddess or many gods, but I do know that kindness, love, and having respect for each other and the planet is something worth worshiping. So let us worship that, and we know that, and let us just stay open-hearted and open-minded about the rest of it. Oh, you're coming in on this. I'm going to go back to you working on the web banner.
Okay.
Good, thank you. So Bodhi's going to show you the web banner and continue working on it, and I can continue blabbering if I want to.
Yeah.
But I prefer you talking about how the web banner process.
Sure. So the marketing professional we're working with asked for a web banner, which is basically the book cover, but she wants the book cover with extra room around it so she can put words on it and turn it into like a poster. So I have to go find where I did that. Okay, so I've got the web banner, and I'm going to open up that file, and I'm going to share it on the screen here in a sec. We're opening up Photoshop. So let's replace that. Okay. But as you will see, let's, there we go. And then, so we got this Photoshop document here. That is actually the original book cover. So we're going to put the new and improved book cover on there. Let's wait for Photoshop to cooperate. Gives me time to grab the newest version of the book cover. And let's bring it. So you want to talk about why you decided to go with a book marketer? Why you decided to bring somebody onto the team?
Oh yeah, well, I've been an artist all my life, and but I've never really learned marketing. It's not my natural inclination. It's not what I'm naturally curious about. And what we're curious about, of course, we're most motivated to learn. I love to make things instead of buy things, and I love to find and recreate from what might be wasted or overlooked. So I'm not a big consumer. Food, healthy, fresh food is my biggest, the biggest thing that I purchase. So I don't know that much about marketing, but we're now in the time of learning it. And so the best way, in my humble opinion, to learn something is to ask people that know more than us. And so this woman we're working with now has been doing it for 30 years and has written 6 books herself. So she's recommended from a friend of mine who has won awards for his book. And so I'm setting out to learn and get help from somebody who knows more than me. And in this area, that's a lot of people, but it's important that we work with people we trust and respect. So that's what we're starting this new era, and it's going to help us with this book and Bodhi's book, Northport 1999, and my books that are in process now. Maybe I'll even reprint the book of cranes that was printed quite some time ago by a big publisher, and but I have the rights to republish it, so I might. And there's other books in process right now that I'm going, one for sure I'm going to finish by the end of the year. So we're going to use this information and this help, and we're up for including other people on our team to help get our work out there. And I'm highly motivated to, well, stand up for the planet, nature, and people living in peace with one another. So the further it gets out there, the better. And it's also helps me because helps me feel good about myself and pay for that fresh food. So uh, there you go. How
All
you doing
right.
in there?
So there we are. You see, so I've got the first version of this web banner. We're going to save that. Well, I've actually got I've got three different versions I just made. So let me, in an organized fashion, save these. So this one just shows the front cover. Then this version also shows the spine. But it's got a red line at the top. No, it doesn't. It just was showing that it did on my end, but it doesn't. Okay, so now we're going to save this version with the spine. Banner with spine. Banner just front. And then we got one that also has the back cover. Banner full cover. So I'm saving these as JPEGs for her. Then now this one that's just the full cover, we're going to make a few different versions of that as well, where we give her a bit more wiggle room around the cover. And you can see I got a bunch of stuff I need to delete, but that's okay. You can keep talking because this is not, I don't really have much to say, and I'm not super good at talking and doing this at the same time.
Okay. Well, I really, really appreciate all your technical help, and it does take a team. And I am my expertise is in flowing, creatively expressing my imagination in any direction I choose, and whether it's wardrobe or home decor or dishes or writing or dancing or painting, drawing. That's my expertise. But Bodhi's expertise is storytelling, movie making, technology, and I'm so grateful that he asked me to work with him and named us Mother Son Productions, and we get to team up and use our very different skill sets. And now we're incorporating another person into the team to help with the marketing, who has a different skill set than either one of us. And we are open and in searching for, investigating, interviewing people for being agents, licensing agent. I have literally I got close to 3,000 different things, from furniture to fine art that I've created, each unique that are here at the Emerald Lady, some of which could be licenses, so a licensing agent or a literary agent for either one of us. producers for our video projects, our movie making aspirations, which Bodhi wrote scripts and treatments of both of our books as episodic series that were accepted at many festivals, and his animation film um, from his Northport 1999 novel has been selected at a number of festivals. So we are really, I like to call us the DIY Not duo that has restored this grand old home and made our 100-year-old carriage house into a studio. We can make movies in, skate dance, do big art projects, even do creativity retreats in. So having people that are good at the marketing and publicity on the team is what's next for us. So if you know somebody, please direct them to us or tell us about them. We really appreciate that. And are you ready to say something, or you want me to keep going with this?
I pretty much have this done now. I just need to save everything again because I realized there was a mistake, and now I gotta do all 6 versions. I gotta save them all again, but that's fine.
All right. Well, so as you can see, the promotional things we're making, the cover of the book, the web banner for this marketing person to send out with press releases announcing the second edition and such, there are creative aspects, but there are also technical aspects that I like to say it's called art work for a reason. So there's the art part and there's the work part. So we're creative generalists who are trying to learn everything we need to know to share the work with the world that fulfills us and we believe can help others and the world. So that's inspiring, and it's also challenging. So we're in the promotional phase of I've coming to it at a very mature age, but what matters in life, I like to say, is not how long we dream of things, but that we never give up dreaming of things and moving toward our dreams. And my dream is to help a lot of people by sharing how I rose above the darkness in my life, and to help the planet by sharing how beautiful this planet and living in harmony with nature and each other can be, and have some effect, no matter how minute it might be, in creating a kinder world. So, have you saved everything?
I have.
You
So
want
now
to?
I've got all these different options for her, and that's ready.
Fabulous.
And Joni just said, "Sorry I'm late. You look lovely today on YouTube."
Thank you. Nice to know you're here, Joni, always, and no apologies necessary. We all have lives and responsibilities, and so anybody can see these live streams because they're recorded and put out there on the Creativity Show after. So anytime you have time to listen or see them,
Speaking of
they're
Joni,
yes.
we made some changes to the interior of the book.
Oh, please, yes. Speaking of Joni, can we show her that? Is that Joni? You want to see this?
We can.
And
So let me pull up the digital version of the book that just got updated yesterday. And let me scroll to the special thanks section and highlight something down here. it's highlighting the whole thing, but you can see right here.
All right. So, how's that look? Is she there?
I'm not positive, and there's a bit of a delay on YouTube, so.
Okay, well, if you're seeing it now, let us know. If you see it later, let us know. But you and Mike have been included in the special thanks of the section of the book. So we wanted you to know we appreciate you. And so there you are. And
another thing we had to do was we had to brighten up some of these photos because you never really know how it's going to look until you get the printed version in your hand. And some of these photos were they just came through too dark from the printer. They worked out, they were okay, but you might as well improve everything you can each time you want to resubmit your manuscript. So I went through and I brightened some of these darker photos so that hopefully when you hold it in your hand, there's more contrast and more detail you can pull out of them. But you know,
nice. Thank you.
Yep.
Nice. Well, so yeah, the creative process is it has got many parts, and everything from having an idea to figuring out how to fit the time into our lives in a way that we can focus and finesse it till we finish it and feel fulfilled. And I love alliteration. So
Joni says, "Oh wow, I'm honored."
Fabulous. I'm glad you saw that. And tell Mike. And great. So I feel really good about ending here, unless there's something else you want to share. And we are going to get back to. I'm going to get back to creating in front of the camera on Thursday at noon, because it's time for that. And I don't have to, I choose to acknowledge that talking about art and stuff is necessary, but it's not as calming as doing art. So I'm looking forward to doing art in front of you on Thursday.
I'm going to adjust the exposure. You don't have to stop talking.
Okay. So, yeah, so Thursday at noon, we're going to do some art in front of you. And thank you, meanwhile, for being here, and stay positive. Let's work together to make this a kinder world. And that means disagreeing respectfully and keeping in mind that any one of us, including me, could be wrong about anything. And that's important, that we know that we're here and we can keep learning and keep loving and keep going and keep growing. So love you all, and I hope there's something here that helps you return to positivity, stay positive, get inspired, share yourself with the world. So there you go. Thank you, Bodhi.
Happy to help, and very cool. Congratulations on the second edition of your memoir and art book. It looks really amazing.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope everybody has somebody that's really got their back and helps them manifest their dreams and hopes for the world. So thank you, Bodhi. And thank you, everybody, for being here. And meanwhile, see you Thursday at noon, and stay creative.